Good morning once again. Here I am on my journey. It's day 64, and this morning just want to talk about, as I said, I was going to talk about obviously a little bit about my life, so really you get to know me, I get to know me as well, being as truthful as possible or as I can recollect. Why I've started doing these, to tell the truth, is it's a motivation for myself, and the motivation starts with why basically had nothing, why I've always really had nothing, and why I've always wanted to have something even from when I was small. But I'll start from basically a spot of where obviously, doing the working thing, working retail, working sports shops, working asbestos companies, working for Land Rover, working nights, never seen a family and stuff, taxiing. I've always tried to, build my own business, tried to do a barbering business, tried where I went to college, did that, did my mentoring course at college, did that, passed, did my coaching, but I've always tried to do something where I was like, going to be working for myself. But there were times when it was just so hard because we had a mortgage, we had the house, the kids came along, and it was really hard for me to get a job. I don't know why, but it was really hard for me to get the job that I needed to actually, keep maintaining, paying the bills, food, living, nappies and other bits and pieces. It was so hard, and unfortunately it was a time where we bought our house when it was so easy to get a house, and it was 100% where we didn't even have to put anything down, and got the house. Things were going well for a while. Then it came to a point where I was trying to get more money for us to do the house up, and I didn't want to remortgage and that straight away and stuff, just to build the house up. So we went down the road of me trying to do taxiing, and boy, that was no way was that easy, because I'm not going to make any excuses. Actually, I had a car on finance. It was a big 6-seater. Well, it's still a lot. It was an 8-seater actually, and no, it was a 6-seater. It was a Hyundai 6-seater, and this was a 55 plate. So going back a while, and it was just so hard to try and do the taxi and get up early in the morning, doing other bits and pieces, trying to put money on the table, but it just wasn't enough. And then we got ourselves into debt, and we had cards that had to be paid, and in the end we just ended up losing the house. And it was one of the hardest points for us in our lives. It really was. Me and Al, we were going through obviously a hard time. And also at this time I'd done my Achilles, I'd broken my leg, so I couldn't work, and I was actually getting help from, if you call it that, from the government, because obviously I couldn't work, and Ali was working part-time at a jewellery store. Still wasn't enough, and we was living with her parents, and boy, that was the hardest time. We still had to pay rent, and the rent that we were being charged was like something like, if I remember, £800 a month for us. Can you imagine that? £800 per month we were paying. And I look back at that and I say, where was the help, apart from you're putting a roof over our heads, yeah, great, but it was you know, sometimes you're looking for help, but you know that help isn't there to say, well, you know, because there's no way that I would charge somebody that, but hey ho, that's the way that it worked out. That'll always stick with my mind, always. We had the kids. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. The lowest point where, you know, it was soul destroying. It was crushing. So this is why I'm ending up doing this. Obviously we've got our own place now and everything else. So around the corner, we got out of that situation, and I said in my mind I was still listening to, you know, great motivational speakers and stuff, but not really paying that much attention. It was there, but I don't think I was using it. So I've always said to myself from that, you know what, I'm going to work for myself and I'm just going to build a business and build it as hard as possible. I know that a lot of people have gone through trials and tribulations, but you know, when you're looking into your kids' eyes and your missus' eyes and they're crying and they're upset, and because, you know, you haven't got your own space, it's horrible. And as a man, or as anybody, you feel hurt, you feel sunk, you feel like, you know, what do I have to do? And I'd say that was the darkest time. It was deep. But now, as I said, it's a case of we're building our business the best way that we can for us, so that we'll never be in that situation again. Never. I promised myself, and I promised my children, and I promised my wife to be. Ain't happening.